Alright guys, now typically for these intro videos, we usually give you guys a preview of what we have in this pro scheme. But we're going to do it a little bit different today. Basically today I'm just going to plug for you guys how good this pro scheme is. Now if you guys are struggling to stop the run, this defense is really going to help with that. We put the time in, guys. We put the hours in. We labbed it out for you guys. We have so many different concepts, a lot of different defenses to stop the run, plenty of options for you guys to choose from. I can't stress enough how much time we put into this and how helpful it's going to be for you guys. Now, it has good pass defense too, don't get me wrong. And we have plenty of other good pass defenses on the site already. But this is by far and away our best run defense. And I honestly think it's the best run defense in the community. So you guys need to check it out. Let's get into it. Alright guys, so here's the miscellaneous video breaking down all the audibles and personnel for all the formations. Now this is going to be a little bit longer of a miscellaneous video than usual because we have 4 different formations to break down. We have 3-4 odd, 3-4 bear, nickel 3-3-5, and dollar to break down. So I'll start with 3-4 odd, and the audibles for that, the only 2 that really matter are Storm Brave 1 and Cover 3 Sky. You're in this for run defense. You're typically going to be coming out in Storm Brave. Now you can adjust out of Storm Brave or audible into Cover 3 Sky. Whatever you want to do. Now, past that, Tampa 2 just is a nice defense to always audible to if you ever want to go to cover 2. And then cover 4 quarters is a good match defense out of 3-4 odd just to have in your back pocket. The only 2 that really matter are Storm Brave 1 and Cover 3 Sky. Now, for personnel, you're going to want your 2 best tackling linebackers with a decent amount of speed at the outside. So I have Kirksey and Avery out there. And then the middle linebacker, you just want tacklers with decent speed as well. These don't really matter. You can't put safeties there, so it doesn't matter too much, but I have Taylor and I believe it's Spoto. So those are just the 2 best linebackers the Browns have. It is what it is. The Browns is probably the best team to use with this scheme if you're playing regs and you're only really focused on the defensive side of the ball. This is the best defense to fit them. So Sheldon Richardson to DT, just a big beefy guy to help stop the run. And then your 2 best pass rushers and defensive ends at end, Olivier Vernon and Myles Garrett. So you don't really have many options at the D-line spot just because it's a regs team. So these are the 3 best ones that you have. They happen to be some good ones, especially Myles Garrett, so it's not bad to have. What's your 2 best corners outside? I have Greedy and Denzel Ward, both very good players outside. And then I like speed up top. I don't really like having Burnett in. He's just too slow. I do keep Randall in because he's 90 speed and he's a really good safety. So I keep Randall and I put Phillip Gaines at the corner spot. That's 3-4 odd. Now let's go over to Bear. Audibles does not really matter. Honestly, Will Sam 1's the most important play, so I put it in there in case I ever get stuck in something that I don't like. If I call the wrong play or something, go to Will Sam 1. You also go to cover 3 if need be. But to be completely honest with you, Will Sam 1's really all I call out of this. I'll adjust out of this if I want to change my zones up, but that's pretty much my only call. For personnel, I have my 2 best corners outside again, so Ward and Greedy. That doesn't change. At the safety spot, this is who you're using on your run defense. So I have Red Wine. He's 93 speed, so he's going to be very fast for you. They don't really have too many safeties that are super fast that are great at tackling, so I don't want to put anyone else there. Like Burnett's just too slow. Randall is your other safety spot. The safety's in the box for 3-4 Bear. I keep Randall in. He's going to be a good tackler for you. Solid player, 90 speed, so he's not like he's slow. And then the outside linebacker spot's just like 3-4 odd. You're going to want your best speedy but good tackling linebackers, so I have Kirksey and Avery once again. Schaubert is another good tackler, so I put him at this, I guess it's an outside linebacker spot, but it's inside the other outside linebackers. He's down by the end, so I put Schaubert there, and then at the last linebacker spot, I use Taylor. For here, it really does not matter who you use. If you want to use Taki, you can. If you want to use Jefferson, you can. None of them are good linebackers. Taylor's 86 speed. He's a little bit better than Jefferson. Jefferson is 87 speed, but he's a little bit better player, so I use Taylor here. Again, the D lineman. You can use Ogunjobi, I believe is how you pronounce it, but you can also use Sheldon Richardson. Really does not matter. Ogunjobi has a little bit more speed, but I actually prefer Sheldon Richardson. I guess I forgot to change that spot. But then you have Vernon and Garrett. So that's the personnel for 3-4 Bear. Now going to 3-3-5. For 3-3-5, the audibles, they don't matter that much. You want Tampa 2 in there. Outside of that, you might want cover 4 drop. You might want, I believe they have cover 3 cloud. You might want cover 3 cloud in there. They don't matter a ton. I personally adjust out of Tampa 2, so I always have the threat of the blitz. But if I do want to call cover 3 cloud, that's one coverage that I cannot recreate. So if I wanted an audible in there, it would be cover 3 cloud. It doesn't matter as much. Dollar's probably the most important for audibles. As far as personnel goes, again, the trio, Myles Garrett, Richardson, and Vernon. And then at the linebacker spot, you can put safeties in here. So I use Whitehead. He's 88 speed. That's just their last safety that has any type of speed. If you want to put Burnett and you're not really worried about speed as much, you could. I like speed everywhere, especially at linebackers. I feel like they just don't react. At the other linebacker spots, Redwine and Murray, both fast guys, so I put them there. In the slot, I have Phillip Gaines, 92 speed, very fast corner that can do a good job manning up, but then also play zone at times. Then again, Greeny and Denzel outside. I put Terrence Mitchell up top, another speedy corner, like him better than Burnett. If you really wanted to, just wanted all speed, not worry about any zone, you could put Thomas there. He's 93, I believe, but he has terrible zone and terrible man, so I put Mitchell there, and then you have Randall again. Lastly, for $1, for your audibles, here's what I would put: cover 4 drop, spinner, DB fire, cover 3 cloud. Now, cover 4 drop, you can change if you don't want cover 4 drop. Maybe you want to cover 1 hole, so you can use the cover 1 Robert press. Maybe you like to go to crossfire sometimes. Now, I don't break down that blitz, and we don't break down this blitz in this scheme, but it is usable like years past. It's just not nearly as good as it once was. Maybe you like cover 3 sky press over cover 3 cloud. You could go to that, but I personally would go with cover 4. I like being able to audible to it, maybe on like a 4th and 20, and you just don't want to get anything up. You don't have to set up the coverage shell yourself. You could go to a cover 4, something like that. But personnel is going to be very similar to 3-5. You're going to have Sheldon Richardson, Myles Garrett, Olivier Vernon, Murray and Redwine at linebacker, again, just because of their speed. I put Thomas in the slot here. As I told you guys before, he's very fast, so I use him in games. If you wanted to use carry, you could, but here I actually do like speed, so I leave him in the slot, since if you're blitzing him, you want fast guys there. Outside, Greedy and Denzel again, and then you have Terrence Mitchell and Demarius Randall. Once again, very similar personnel to 3-5. But that's it for the miscellaneous video, guys. I know it was a little long, but hopefully it was helpful for you guys and helped you guys to understand what you want to use in each spot. And I always write them down in the description anyway. So that's it for miscellaneous. Alright guys, now I'm going to be breaking down the philosophy of the Spoto defense. Essentially, the number one thing is stopping the run. That's the number one basis, that's the number one core of this defense. You're not going to give up the run. You have 3-4 odd, you have 3-4 bear, you have nickel 3-5. All of these things are going to be effective in stopping the run. And then dollar is also a fairly effective shotgun run defense. Now, of course, 3-4 odd and 3-4 bear can be ran with any other scheme that we have on the site. It can be ran in the Jets defense. But this defense is going to be essentially based around playing great run defense, and then when they go to pass, you have great block shed coverage defense to lock down anything they want to do, and you're going to shed them quickly. So, of course, the philosophy is that they're coming on in some type of I form. I'm either going to come on in the 3-4 bear defense or the 3-4 odd defense. That's going to be good against all universal runs. So if they're in a single back, maybe a single back wing flex, I'm probably going to come on in 3-4 odd. Or if they're in an I form that I feel more comfortable being in 3-4 odd than 3-4 bear. But it's really your choice on that. Then if they're in something that's a little bit, maybe they like to pass, but maybe they like to run too, a little bit of both, then you can be a nickel 3-5. It helps stop the run. It has good run defense out of the cover 4, but then you also have great block shed defense and a decent blitz behind it. That's going to be your kind of balanced defense that you're going to want to use. Now, of course, there's some specific ones like single back wing flex close where they can pass and run, but you're going to want to stay in 3-4 odd for. That's just something to note, but for the most part, if they're balanced, 3-5 is where you're going to want to be at. And then if they pass, you're going to want to be in dollar. If there's someone who's strictly passing, they're in gun bunch, they're in a trips tight end, something like that, dollar is where you're going to want to be. It's going to be very effective for you. It's great block shed defense. It has a good blitz out of the sugar blitz, and you're going to have great personnel to help match against whatever wide receiver set that they have. If they have 3 wide, 4 wide, whatever the case may be, you're going to match up with a well out of dollar. So that's the philosophy on it, guys. First, don't give up the run. That's the first basis, and then after that, it's playing good bend, don't break defense. Not an aggressive defense like 1-4-6, one where you're going to kind of take the guys back a little bit, play a lot of block shed defense, play good coverage, and then as soon as they're not expecting a blitz, bam, you hit them with it. So that's the basis of the defense. That's the philosophy behind it. I hope this is a little bit helpful to help you guys get inside the mind of why you're going to be doing what you're doing out of this defense. But now let's get into the scheme portion and break down each individual thing that's going to help you guys be successful. All right, guys, so we're starting this scheme off with run defense. We feel run defense is the most important thing right now. It's what the meta is, and if you don't have run defense, you don't get stops. So we didn't want to give you guys anything else before we gave you guys run defense. We felt it was the most important, and we feel like we have one of the best run defenses in the game. So we wanted to start off with that. We're in 3-4 bear. It's going to be very different than the 3-4 bear I gave you before. It's a very easy universal setup for all I forms except for I form tight. I form tight will be in the stopping the meta section. It is a special type of I form that's going to be a different way to stop it. We're going to have a special setup for that. So if you guys want to know how to stop I tight, make sure you guys check that out. But for everything else, I close, I slot, I pro, whatever the case may be, this setup's going to do a great job against it. And since it's going to be out of man-to-man base, it's going to do a good job against RPOs as well. The only thing you ever have to really worry about is slants. So we'll start off in I close here. Very, very popular I formation, and this 3-4 bear is going to do a great job against it. So right here, it's really easy. You're going to call that Will Sam 1. It's this cover 1. It's very simple. You're just going to spread your line, crash your D line down, move these guys out a few yards, and you're good to go. So we'll start with a stretch, but it's going to be even better against dive and ISO. These linebackers here are going to shoot down on dive and ISO and do a great job. Also something you want to move this guy over. That's probably the last step. It's an optional step, but it definitely helps with the stretch defense. It's not necessary for dive and ISO, but it does help against stretch. So moving that guy over is useful. Now at the end of the I close section, I will go over flipping if they come out and they flip, because you have auto flip on. You want this linebacker here on the strong side. So if they come out in it this way and they flip afterwards, obviously you have auto flip on, so the linebacker is not going to be in the correct spot. You can flip, but if you don't have time to flip, there's another setup that you can do, which I'll show you guys at the end here. But we'll start with stretch, and you guys are going to see it's going to do a great job. And the guy actually whipped on the tackle, but there's just so many bodies there that they can't really make a play. So I'll show you guys here how the scheme really works. You have this strong side linebacker moved out that forces this tight end down. It's going to create this gap here that this linebacker is going to usually fill. So he loops around 71, and he's there to make the play. Now, obviously, the guy runs into the line, kind of like the way the users do in Madden 20, and he just whiffs on the tackle. But if he doesn't run into his line, he's there to make the play. Then you have your safety, which is like the second level of contain here, to make this play on the running back as well. And then if they ever cut super far back, like all the way back across the field, you have this guy trailing the play to take away any cutbacks. That's the way the run defense really works. And you're going to see it's really, really consistent. It's really tough to find gaps to run against it. So quickly move this guy over. And let's go for the stretch again. And you guys are going to see nowhere for him to go. He cuts back right into the middle of the field, right into a tackle. Not much space. I'm just going to, I hate to do redundancy here, guys, but I just want to run it for you guys many times just to show you guys it's consistent. I know run defenses cannot be consistent sometimes, but this one very much well is. And it's going to be rare that they're actually going to break a big run. I know sometimes people get juked, they get armbarred, whatever the case may be. But with this run defense, you usually have a couple bodies there that if they make one guy miss or they break one tackle, there's other guys there to make the play. Now let's move on to ISO and dive and show you guys how that works. So it's the same exact setup. Move this guy in, move this guy out. By moving these guys out a few yards, they're usually going to shoot down on ISO. So if we run ISO here, guys shoot down, and I actually moved the guys out a little bit too far, so they ended up gaining 1 or 2 yards. But you guys see the concept here. These guys never get blocked. I don't know why, but they pretty much never get blocked, and that allows for any ISOs, any dives to just get blown up right in the backfield. So right there, he actually breaks the tackle. Sometimes if you guys move them a little bit too far, a little bit not far enough, they won't shoot down because they'll end up, the blocking scheme will change. But for the most part, you almost always get 1. You usually get 2 in 2. So it's going to do a great job against dive and ISO. And you guys see the guy's coming in every single time, and he's making the play for you. Just show it a couple more times. Again, I hate to be redundant, but I want to show you guys how consistent the runs are. If you don't have consistent run defense, yeah, maybe you can blow it up once, but is it going to blow it up 2 times, 3 times, 4 times? Because if you don't blow it up every single time, they're going to keep doing it. That's just the way the game works. They'll keep running until they break one. So you need consistent run defense, and you guys are seeing here, this is the epitome of consistent run defense. It's blowing up dive, it's blowing up stretch, it's blowing up ISO, it's doing everything. Right there, you guys are seeing both of the guys coming in. I'll just show you guys dive here. The dive flips the run, so instead of going to the right, it goes to the left. But again, it's still going to do the same exact thing. These guys are going to shoot down on it and make the play for you. So we'll go to dive. Guy shoots down, hits him in the backfield. So that's it against I close. I will go to I slot just to show you guys it works against other I forms, but it's not just I close. It's pretty much any I form other than I tight. So Will Sam 1 once again. We'll go to I form close slot. This is a good stretch, and we can test it against that. So spread, crash down, move, and move this guy in the middle. Again, this is probably the least important step of the run defense. It does help against stretch, but it's probably the most optional. So we're on the stretch here. And I almost got caught over pursuing right there. You don't want to ever over pursue because you are the safety valve. If they ever do break free, you don't want to be the guy like that's just in the middle of nowhere letting them get a free touchdown. You're the contain. Make sure you don't go out there too fast and do anything wild. But you guys are seeing here they're still going to be able to make the plays. They're containing. They're doing a good job stopping the run for you. And you are there to make a play if need be. So just always keep that in mind. This run defense is going to be effective. It's rare that they break a run on me. Just every once in a while, you know how the game can be. It's just the way the game is. But for the most part, you're going to be able to make plays on them. The guys are going to get out there, bounce off blocks, stuff like that. Against this, the moving the middle linebacker really isn't necessary. Again, I told you this is probably the most optional thing. It does fine without it. It messes up the blocking, but honestly, it doesn't really matter. Probably against I form close slot, I wouldn't move that linebacker, but I form close is a lot more popular than this formation, which is why I'm pretty consistently moving that linebacker. But if you don't move him, it's still going to do a great job against this. Not really many places to go, and you usually have two bodies on him. So just in case they flip the stretch, I'll show you guys that it still works fine. Move this guy out. If they flip the stretch the other way, you're still going to be able to blow it up just like you could the other way, and it does a fine job. One more time just to show you guys it's consistent. Guy shoots down, blows it up. So I'll go back to I slot here. I mean I close, excuse me, just to show you guys what you can do if they flip it. But honestly, like I said, it's not 100% necessary. It's just if they are having success with it, it's something you can know that you can go to, that you know how to do. So they come on a stretch, right? You have auto flip on the way you're supposed to. You set up as if they're running it to the right. And move this guy here. Then they flip. As they're flipping, you see it. I move this guy over. I move my D-line to the left. I move this guy down, and you're good to go. The reason why you do that is this linebacker is no longer in position. You want this guy to be on the tight end side, but now he's not. Obviously, you can flip, but the offense can flip a lot faster than the defensive can, and then you still have to reset all your adjustments. So I typically would just shift the line and then crash the line up on this, or left, either or, doesn't matter. But you shift them, and then you move these linebackers back over. Excuse me, I didn't mean to touch Garrett. Move these linebackers back over, and they'll do a decent job against the stretch. So that's just something you can do if need be. Now, he ran into his blockers and guys whiffed again, but you guys see it. So last time here, just to show you guys if they quickly flip. So you're already set up as if they're going to run to the right. Then they flip. You quickly here do that. Crash left, move this guy over, and you're ready to go. I was able to set that up rather quickly, and that's only with two controllers. And it does a decent job. Again, it's not going to be as good as the other defense. The best ideal thing is to flip it, but you don't always have time to do that. So essentially, you kind of have to have a backup plan. And that backup plan would be to shift your line, crash them up, move these guys over, and then deal with it. So I was able to set that up before they got set. And again, that's with two controllers, and it's not bad. It's just not as good as the other run defense, in my opinion. But that's the I form defense. I hope this will help you guys. I know it's helped me in Weekend League and MUT and pretty much anything that I play. So I hope this is helpful for you guys.
So my personal favorite run D in the entire game is out of 3-4 odd, and what I run it out of is Storm Brave 1. This is a cover 0. I user the free safety in the deep blue, and I'm running this play flipped. Always flipped, and I always come out in this play. If I want to go to coverage, I will call this play and then audible to the coverage. It keeps the same linebacker alignment in coming out in this play. So just FYI, and it's good against pretty much every run in the game. I run it against single back, I form, strong, whatever it may be. Here we're going to go against I form tight. This is just an example of what we're going to be doing, how we set up our generic run defense. Here we're going to go against halfback stretch. First off, I want my fastest linebacker at this middle linebacker right of screen spot right here where Anthony Barr is. He's going to shoot the gap, and we're going to show that. I user Harrison Smith. I bring him down in between the two middle linebackers. I scoot my left of screen outside linebacker outside, and I crash my D-line up by clicking left of D-pad and up on the right stick. And then on the snap, Anthony Barr comes flying through the gap. He will not always come through. That is not a 100%er, but it's pretty dang consistent. He is going to have really good success. So again, I drag Kendricks out. I crash my D-line up. I just come right here with Harrison Smith. I'm going to use her right here. And wherever I see the run going, I'm trying to blow it up. Now, I personally like the Vikings and regs because Harrison Smith has the ability Enforcer. If you are in Mutt and you have Pat Tillman, get Enforcer on him and activate him. It's very good. But again, just showing you guys. Now, if you are struggling against a particular run, notice I just click off there with Harrison Smith and he's going to hit stick for me. That's what Enforcer does. It forces fumbles like crazy. But if you're struggling against a particular run, there are a few things you can try. You can try to crash your D-line down. It will have success in doing so. You can try to move out both outside linebackers. We talked about putting safeties in spies. You can try to drag a safety out and put a safety in a spy. But honestly, this is the best run D in the game that I have found. It's what I'm running on the salary cap ladder. I'm having a lot of success with it. All it is, you crash up, move Kendricks out, and then you use your free safety in between the two middle linebackers. So the reason why we drag that outside linebacker out, by the way, is because he'll blow up dive like this occasionally. There they do get 5 yards, but dive's pretty hard to blow up. And if you drag out an outside linebacker who's on a blitz, oftentimes they will come in free and will be able to make a tackle for either a 1 yard loss or at the line of scrimmage. Sometimes they fall forward. Here we get both guys in free. As you notice, the run game's just a bit fluky this year. There isn't consistent run defense that's going to work every single time. And then I talked about earlier, come out in Storm Brave 1, and if we want to go to zone, we can audible to it and then blitz Anthony Barr, drag out. You can either crash up or down the D-line. I personally prefer to crash down if I go to like cover 3. I move Gideon out right here. And I'm going to put Smith actually onto the right side because we want to keep that numbers game here. I'll just use her Harris, and I just know I need to take the deep third. Against a formation like I form tight, I don't think they're going to throw the ball, but just showing you guys an example of how this would work. And there really requires me to make a play with my user. I'd prefer to be in man coverage, though. If I know they're going to run, man coverage is the move. But again, if you want to audible the zone, here I'll just keep Anthony Harris right here. I'll come up and use Harrison Smith in the same spot. I'm in cover 3 now. I audibled from that Storm Brave 1 to cover 3. I blitz Anthony Barr. I drag Kendricks out, and I'm crashing up on this play. Again, you can crash up or down. Either way works. And here I actually put Harris in a spy. Putting him in a spy or safeties in a spy and bringing them up into the box is going to really help with your run D. So a lot of things we can do, but it's pretty stock. Just follow the setup that's in the description and have success stopping the run.
Alright guys, very quickly here I'm going to go through the nickel 3-5 run defense. Now, it's not the best run defense we have. The 3-4 bear, the 3-4 odd, both very good run defense, but I believe it's important to have a good run defense out of the passing defense that you have. Nickel 3-5 is one of the main pass defenses in this scheme. So, nickel 3-5, we need a run defense for it. You never know if they're going to run into a single back like a deuce close or wing tight where they can actually pass out of it a little bit, so you don't want to be in the 3-4 bear, 3-4 odd man-to-man run defenses, right? So we're going to be doing this out of cover 4 drop. Now this is not for single back wing flex close. If you want to stop wing flex close, that's where we're going to go to stopping the meta section. That's a very popular formation now, and this 3-4 odd. This 3-3-5 cover 4 drop, it might do decent against it. It's not awful, but it's also not the best decision, right? So it's not going to be the best option. If you want to know how to stop that, make sure you go to that section. But 3-3-5, cover 4 drop. I'm just going to go on like a wing tight U, maybe go to deuce close, show you guys these, but we'll start off here and stretch. So all you're going to want to do is press, shift your D-line away from your nickel, and crash them towards the nickel. If you guys need this setup, it's always written up for you guys to see. Make sure you guys check that part out. But very simple here. You're going to want to move the nickel side safety down behind this linebacker and the opposite safety from the nickel over here to the right on the outside, about linebacker level, maybe a little bit above. You see it's a little bit above this middle linebacker level right here. And then you're going to use it this linebacker. You can use it the safety on the backside, but I'd prefer to use the linebacker, and you guys will see for when they flip the run. But the run stretch here, you guys are going to see it's going to do a great job of containing it on the outside, and there's really nowhere for him to go. Now this defense is rather safe. You're usually not going to give up a big run from it. But you're probably not going to hit him in the backfield either. It's not going to be a run defense where you're going to smack him for a 3-yard loss, right? But you're going to see these linebackers and this linebacker and this safety are going to do a great job of containing around the edge, forcing him back inside where there's just too many people to go. So there's really nowhere for him to go. You have the outside corner out there, you have the safety, and you have the linebacker. He just kind of runs into them, and there's nowhere to go. I'll show it to you guys one more time. Really easy to set up too. You're just going to press, shift your line away, crash him down. Now I have no idea why this middle linebacker came down, but just move him back out. Not a big deal. Get on the safety. Now if they run this stretch, nowhere for him to go. Now the safety was there to make the play, but he actually hurdled the outside corner, and it just took him out of the play here. But he was free to make the tackle. A little bit of a fluky play here, you guys will see. He just completely runs the wrong way after the guy gets blocked. But you have this guy free. The key is that you just have one guy there to make a tackle, and then your user there to contain. You don't want to ever have a one-on-one. One-on-one is not the worst thing, but you don't want to have a 1-on-0 with them having the advantage to armbar you. But if you have two people there, you'll pretty much never get beat, right? So one more time, the safety comes down. Now he did run into his blockers really badly right there, though, but clearly the safety was coming in free to hit them in the backfield, or at least hit him for a no-yard gain. You see here he was completely untouched around the edge, and even if he doesn't get stuck on this runner, there's nowhere for him to go. The guy's right there to make the play. So very, very effective. Now, of course, you guys are saying, well, you're shifting your line away, they'll probably flip it. Now, if they flip it, it's really not that much better, and here's why. This is why you bring this safety down right here, this guy. He's in the run fit, so he's going to take up a block for you, and you're going to be able to shoot down on this guy in the backfield and easily make a tackle. Since the guy is the safety's in the run fit and you bring him down into the box, they have to respect him. So when they go to run this stretch, the tackle goes right for the safety, you see there, and then we have a free loop right around, hit him for a 5-yard loss. Now, if he armbars you or makes you miss, that's when things can get a little bit crispy for you. Again, like I said, it's not the best run defense. It's not going to be all hearts and roses when you're stopping run defenses. This is if they're passing the ball as well. But you guys see very consistently I can loop around, easily make this tackle in the backfield. No problem, right? So now against dive. Dive will do a little bit better job. It's a weaker formation. You don't have four linebackers to stop it. You have a nickel out there now. So it's gonna hurt you a little bit, but dive is still not going to be like the best against it. Like, you're going to have people there, obviously a D lineman shed, but then you have the safety that usually can make a play as well. You have your user to possibly gap shoot, and then you do have a nickel that also can make a play as well. So if the nickel can take up a block, that's ideal. So if this tight end right here takes up the nickel, that leaves the safety free to shoot down on the gap. Since he didn't, the nickel is there for containment if they cut outside. You know, people like to cut outside on dive on that, and I will try to actually use I'm going to use the offense on this play just to show you guys if they cut left, the nickel can usually make a play. So I'm actually just going to be on a D lineman here and try to cut out. So if you cut out here, you see the nickel's there to make a play. Now, obviously, I'm not on defense, and I have no backup with that, but he broke the tackle. But you guys see he's there. If I was using on defense, I can usually click onto this guy and probably make a better tackle. If not, I'm also using this linebacker that's here, so I'm probably not just going to run right into the gap and get blocked. If I think they might cut out, I'll probably try to get off the block and get back out here and make a play. But I just wanted to show you guys the nickel will keep them from cutting out to the left. Again, though, dive, it's not going to be the best run defense. This isn't like the 3-4 bear. It's more of a contained run defense to do a good job if they're passing out of it as well. So one more time here, I'll run dive, try to do our best to stop it, and the nickel comes in and gets his tackle broken again. But you guys are seeing that nickel can kind of make the play similarly to the 3-4 bear, the way the guys shoot down on dive. But let's just go here to deuce close just to show you guys it'll do a decent job against that stretch as well. It's not just the wing tight stretch. It can do a good job on run defense regardless of the formation. So quickly here, go to deuce close. Same thing, guys. Press, shift him away, crash him down. This does not usually happen in games. I don't know why Shobart's doing that. As far as I know, he doesn't do that. But move this guy down. And again, we're going to the stretch. It's going to be very similar. The guys are going to contain and lock that stretch up. Similarly to the stretch from before, if they flip it, which they likely will do when you see them shift, you're still going to be able to make a play. So loop around, corner's there because he block shed, but I'm also there to make the play. So you guys see it's going to be very, very good stretch defense. And as always, the run concept that we talked about, if you guys want to spy players, you never know. If you know they're going to run the ball, it doesn't hurt to spy them, right? So hope this was helpful for you guys. Alright guys, so here's the dollar gap shooting video. It's very, very simple. All you're going to do is press, spread your line, crash them out like you usually do when you're trying to stop the pass, and you're going to pull this guy in. Now I'm in DB fire, so the guy's already blitzing, but you can do this out of cover 3 cloud, you can do it out of the defenses. All you have to do is make sure this guy's blitzing, and it'll mess with the targeting from the lineman. Now, do note, tight offset is different. Tight offset inside zone does not work like other ones like the doubles and the trips. And I do go over that after I go over the doubles, but I want you guys to see this here, so I'm hiking it, and I can come right through. Now I'm using 2 controllers. Usually you can hit them a little bit earlier, but you guys will see here the targeting gets messed up when you pull this corner in on a blitz. So the left tackle is going to take the corner, the left guard takes the end, and there's nobody there for you, right? So I'll show it to you guys one more time. Press, spread line, crash out. Now every once in a while, for some reason, the left guard will target you, but that just means the end comes in free and it makes the tackle. And I don't know if you guys are going to see it in this video or not, but just trust, every once in a while they'll pick you up and the end will come in free. So again here, same exact thing, I come right in, have a potential hit stick if I have a hard hitting safety there. So now I do want to show you guys that out of cover 3 cloud. So same thing, spread, crash out, bring this guy in, make sure he's blitzing, and you're good to go. So I'm going to come over here, stand in this spot, and I should be able to shoot right in, just like before. So it's a universal gap shooting. As long as you have that guy blitzing, you're good to go. Now, I'm going to show you guys tight offset. I'm going to show you guys it not working because I'm gonna have to do it something differently, and then I'll show you guys how to do it to fix that. So I'm in DB fire here, and I'm going to come out in tight offset and run inside zone. Now, just like before, move this guy in and go stand over here. Now the difference is this wide receiver's very far in to block, so now this wide receiver can target here, the tackle can target this end, and then the guard can target you. So when they call inside zone, the guy targets you, you can't shoot the gap, and they have a big hole. Now if you know they're in tight offset and you know they're running a lot of inside zone, this is what you'll do. Same thing, spread line, crash out, move this guy in. I'll just grab this guy and quickly move over right here. Now you have the lineman that you need to be able to shoot this gap right in, just like before, and you can hit him in the backfield. Now you have to be quick on it, because if he makes that cutback that the computer is trying to do, and you're not back there hitting him, they're going to be off to the races. You're taking your linebacker from right here that's in this run gap and just completely taking it away. And when you're shooting through, if you don't get him, if he takes that cut and you don't get there, he's got a big gain. Now, I've talked about this before in prior schemes. Something you guys can do is, if you're worried about that and you're worried about like not shooting through and missing or something, you can always click the right stick and send this deep half. So if this guy's down here, you can usually send the deep half at this guy. So click your right stick. Now, I'm trying to use 2 controllers, so I wasn't able to click it right. But just imagine the guy cutting up, it sends the safety. So when you click the right stick, it sends the closest safety to him. So if he cuts up, you click the right stick, bam, you see this guy, how he starts going before the other safety does? That's because I clicked the right stick. Now, I was using 2 controllers, so I made myself truck stick. I'll try it one more time here, but I accidentally showed blitz, but I'll just move this guy over and move this guy back just so you guys can see it one more time. So I move over here, and I miss the gap or whatever, right? Like I get through and he cuts back. I sent that guy. Now, again, it's a big run and he breaks a tackle, but sending that guy can help you if you miss the guy, right? But that's why I'm stressing, don't miss. If you're doing this, you're being aggressive, you can't miss. So I'll try it one more time here to show you guys this click stick. He hikes it, I click the stick, and you see he goes down there and he kind of makes him cut back. He makes him think a little bit. Just something you can do, but shoot that gap and make sure you hit him. But this is the best way to do it. You just mess with the blocking. There's not enough people over there to block you. And if I am actually not using 2 controllers and I'm actually not trying to just show you guys to click the right stick, I can usually hit him in the backfield without any problems. It's just something for you guys to stress, that you guys have to make sure you're there. But you guys see here, sending this guy makes him fill this gap and make him think about it, and it makes him cut back, and you don't give up a big gain just in case you did miss. So that's just something you guys can note. If I wasn't using two controllers, trust me, you can shoot the gap with your left hand, like with the left stick, while clicking the right stick at the same time without messing up. It's just hard to do because I'm having to take one hand off. But it's definitely something you can do while shooting the gap as a precaution to make sure that they don't get any big gains on you. Alright guys, so here's the run defense concept that you guys can use out of any formation that you want to stop pretty much any single run in the game. So if I know they're going to run, I know they're not going to pass, right? This is the defense I'm going to be in. Now, if they do happen to pass, it's not like it's going to give up a free touchdown or anything. But it's something that I'm only going to want to do if I know they're going to pass. If I know that they're going to run. So here's what the concept is. If you guys remember last year, if you guys manned up your safeties, it would put them in the run fit and they would shoot down in the gaps very, very well. We found something this year, which is QB spying them. It's going to work just as well as last year. As a matter of fact, it probably works better than manning up your safeties from last year. They shoot the gap so perfectly, they play the run fit so perfectly, and it makes it very, very difficult to run the ball on. So I'm in 3-4 odd. What I usually like to do out of 3-4 odd is basically just baseline press and then move these safeties out like a few inches. Move them outside a little bit, makes them shoot right at a perfect diagonal down to any runs like a stretch or a power row or anything of that nature. Does a great job. Just move them outside, the outside linebackers just by a bit, and they're going to shoot down very, very well. Now, just to make sure you don't give up any touchdowns, just in case they pass, you are in a cover two man. So the safeties that were in deep blues, everyone else is still going to be manned up. I like to shade up just in case, but as you guys can see, if they're in eye tight, the only pass they're probably going to do is like the outside slant thing, which we break down in our eye tight stopping the meta section. But this isn't a run defense video for anything specific. It's really just to show you guys this spy concept and how well it works. So I'm just going to hike the ball in this power O here, and you're going to see the safety comes down, and he actually makes a great play at the running back. Now, the run defense is just very good in general, so they tackled him for a loss or whatever. But you can see here both these safeties play well. So this one shoots right down in this little gap that the running back might run through. So if they had cut right here, normally imagine that safety's not there, they have a nice little gap that 75 is leading the way in. Instead, he takes up a block and makes it impossible for him to cut up that way. I'll show you guys it again. Now, sometimes we'll take up a block, allowing other people to block shed. But also sometimes they'll just shoot through on their own and make a tackle for you. So just wanted to show you guys it a couple times just to see right there perfectly, takes up another block from 75, and they're able to make a tackle. So it's very, very effective in that way, in that it takes up extra blockers because you essentially have 11 people in the run fit. So just so you guys could see it, it's very, very good. The guys come right up and they make plays for you. So I just wanted to show you guys that. Basically, it's like manning up the safeties from last year, but I honestly think it's better. I feel like they're just smarter against the run, and you guys see perfectly right there. That's the best example. I'll show you guys in the replay. We can get out of this video, but the guys come sprinting up. Now, obviously, you have two QB spies out there. If you don't want to put two, you can always use one of the safeties as well. But if I know they're going to run the ball, why not just put spies out there? You know, like this year, people will run stretch over and over and over and over again. Like I have top players running stretch on me on 3rd and 15. Like it's just what people do. So if you know they're gonna run the ball, put the spies out there and let them make a tackle. Now I'm not saying put spies out there on 3rd and 15. I'm just saying people are gonna run the ball. Be prepared for it. And you guys see this safety just shoots the gap perfectly. And even if that linebacker's not there, he's there to make the play for you. So that's the run defense concept that you guys can use out of anything. Nickel normal, nickel 3-5, whatever. I like it out of 3-4 odd. But I'm just giving you guys a concept that you guys can use out of anything, in addition to all the other run defenses that we have. Alright guys, so here's the dollar block shed defense setup video. Now again, just like 3-5, the only requirement is that you spread your line and crash out. Now, sometimes you want to press, sometimes you want to baseline, whatever you want to do, that part doesn't matter. The only part that matters is spreading your line and crashing out. I prefer to just press and go from there with my adjustments, but it's up to you guys. Again, doesn't really matter. Now, if you want to disguise it like the blitz, you're going to have to do a couple of different things, because with the blitz, you're going to be running a quote-unquote sugar blitz. Now, a sugar blitz really is just when you blitz your linebackers and then you press afterwards and it gets them to come into the gaps. Now, sometimes practice mode is a little bit weird. You guys will see I'll go more in depth with the blitz setup video, but if you want to disguise it, you're going to have to blitz your linebackers and then press to get them to come up. Now, they didn't come up because practice mode's weird, but usually they'll come right here, and you guys will see that in the blitz setup video. It's going to be clear as day, and then you have to adjust from there. So if you want to blitz them, get them to come down, and then coverage them, that'll be helpful for you guys to be able to set it up, but you will lose your 3-rec if you're running something like Cover 3 Cloud. Just something to note, if you wanted to disguise it, you could do that, but the only thing that matters is that you spread your line and crash out. So I'll try it one more time here to get it to come up. If it doesn't work, it is what it is. Make sure you guys check out the blitz coverage setup video. That will have it coming down, and there we go, that worked. So that's it. That's what you want to do, and then from there, spread your line, crash out, and it looks just like the blitz, but you're going to be covering this linebacker back, and you're set up, right? So if you guys want to do that, you can. I wouldn't recommend it every single time, especially if you're running Cover 3 Cloud and you want to keep that 3-rec, right? But if you don't want to keep the 3-rec, then, or it doesn't matter that you keep the 3-rec, then you can do it disguised as the blitz. Both guys come into the gaps, and you're set up. But the only thing that's required is spreading your line and crashing out. Now let's get into clips of it coming in successfully. Alright guys, you guys will see on these clips, just like the 3v5, the 3-man rush is very effective with the spread line and crash out. The guys are going to get to the quarterback very quickly while you have 8 people in coverage. You can do a great job taking away their first couple reads, and you're going to get to the quarterback very, very often. It's going to create great outside rushes by your outside ends while also getting power moves up the middle to split double teams or get one-on-ones with the center and dominate them. So it's very effective, and then when you are able to mix it in with the blitz, it's going to be extremely effective for you guys. Now, keep in mind, I'm not setting up the sugar blitz disguise in this, but you guys can always do that. Just keep that noted. But you guys see it's very effective. Alright guys, here's the dollar blitz setup video. Now, what you're going to be doing out of dollar is essentially called a sugar blitz. What that means is you're going to be blitzing your linebackers before you make any adjustments. That's the first thing you're going to do. And then you're going to press, and that's going to make them come into the gaps. And by holding that gap, it's going to mess with the O-line. It's going to help the blitz be better. It's going to help it be more effective. And then from there, you can do the rest of the setup. Now, this all will be written in the description, so it's a little bit more clear, but it's not too hard to set up. All you're going to do is blitz your linebackers, press, you see they come into the gaps, then you set up the rest of it. You spread your D-line, you crash down, move this guy in and contain, and then you hover this gap. Now, every once in a while, only one guy will come down when you're in game. I don't know why that is, but when that's the case, just grab the linebacker who didn't come down, user him, hold the gap, it'll work the same. Whatever the linebacker didn't come down, just grab him and hover this gap. Usually both of them will come down. Now, practice mode can be quirky sometimes, and sometimes they both won't come down, but that's just practice mode being practice mode. I wouldn't worry about it. Makes the blitz very effective. And now, let's just get into the clips of it coming in successfully, but it's a very effective blitz that I think you guys are going to really like. Now, it's not going to be an every down blitz, just like before. It's not like I'm doing this every single time. If you want to blitz every time, you need to be in 1-4-6 out of the Jets defense. But if you're not, if you're okay with playing some coverage defense sometimes, this is a very solid blitz to be mixing in with it. And you can show this out of anything and just be in like Cover 3 Cloud or just be coveraging that linebacker in those corners, whatever you want to do. So here's the setup. Now let's go into the clips of it being successful. Alright guys, so here's the clips of dollar coming in. It is a good blitz. It's going to come in against a block running back. Now, it's not the best blitz in the game. 1-4-6 is better. I'm not going to act like it is the best, but it is good. It's going to work. It's going to scream. If they block a running back, it's still usually going to come in. And then if they max pro, if you do want to send 7, I do have one clip at the end where I send 7. It's the same exact setup, just blitzing an extra linebacker and using a safety. But most of these clips are sending 6, and you guys are seeing it does come in rather consistently, whether it be a loop, a disengage, or a corner just screaming in as fast as he can. It does work. You definitely want to mix it in. It's definitely useful. You definitely don't just want to play coverage out of this the entire time because the blitz is good enough to mix in a good amount. But at the same time, it is a block shed defense, so you're not going to run this blitz every single time. It's not like 1-4-6. 1-4-6 is an extremely aggressive defense where you will blitz pretty much every single time. Dollar is more conservative, but you can definitely mix in this blitz. Alright guys, so here's the base coverage adjustments out of dollar. I'm going to do the base coverage adjustments out of 3-5 against the same exact formation. It's really just going to be me breaking down base coverages that I'll do to start a game off against kind of common formations and common alignments that you can translate to anything. So I'm starting off here in DB Fire. First and foremost, again, like always, you guys are going to be wanting to play a lot of coverage. What I'll probably do against any trips to the right formation with an ISO to the left, which can be anything like trips tight end Y trips, tray, tray Y flex, stuff like that. Anything where it's 3 wide receivers to one side, 1 to the other. Basically, even bunches like this, essentially, just 3 to the right, 1 to the left. Anything outside of a doubles or a spread, essentially, I'm going to try to take away the one side with my adjustments alone. So I'll usually man this guy up on the running back and man this guy up on the receiver. Now what I'll usually do after that is if I want to keep this deep half, I'll shade down and to the inside, and then I'll probably recloud the right. Or if I wanted to get rid of this deep half and adjust him, I would shade up, because that'll take any streaks away from bombing me, outside of probably like Marquise Goodwin. So Marquise Goodwin, if he's over here, which he is, probably would never do this. But if I have about equal speed, or maybe just even a little bit less, the guy will not get burnt if you shade over top for man-to-man, and then you can maybe like man this guy up on the tight end here or something like that. But whatever you guys want to do, I like to shade down and actually keep my deep half, because it's going to take away drags, and I go more in depth with that in the stopping bunch meta section. So make sure you guys check that out. But something, and then so essentially both these guys are man on the left and they're shaded down, so it's going to pretty much take away any routes that they have. So I don't have to worry about the left side at all, and then you can just take away stuff on the right with your user. So if you want to pull this guy in to disguise your blitz, you can, or you can leave him out here and just man him up on this seam, get a press from him. Whatever you guys want to do, that's your guys' call. But essentially this is what you guys are going to want to do. You just mess around with base adjustments. This is probably how I start a game off against any type of trip set, and just kind of go from there. And maybe I want to put a mid read if I don't want to worry about any posts, and then I can worry about any drags over here. This mid read will take a seam streak, so if they streak the tight end, that mid read will take it away, assuming that I didn't shade down and they have something else pulling down. But that's something you can do. You can man this guy here, and just worry about the outside. Heck, you can even just run straight cover 2 man and take that stuff away. Now resetting here, something else you could do. I love stock cover 3 cloud in this game. It is very, very effective. As always, make sure you back your guy off if you are worried about getting beat deep from a cover 3. If they do streak him, he will get beat, because he'll get a press animation and the streak will beat him. From this cover 3 cloud, I do like to shade down, shade up, and get clouds out there, or even just put this guy in a hard flat and have the cloud still on the right. Cover 3 cloud is a very good stock defense. Now, something that you do have to worry about in cover 3 cloud is any seams. So if they're into trips, you can man this guy up on RB and take that away, and you still have a 3 rec out there. That's something you can do. But that's really just the base coverage. This guy just kind of staying solid with your cover 3 cloud, not really giving up much. And then with your DB fire, I just love taking away that one side. Let's go into a doubles here and kind of show you guys what I would do against a doubles or a spread type set. So we're going to dollar again, and we'll come out in, like, I think they have a doubles in here. Yeah, perfect. They have a doubles. So it doesn't really matter what their plays are. Just essentially what I would want to do is the exact same thing here, but something I love to do against doubles and spread. So doubles and spread, they love to run 4 verticals and just streak the guys like this. This is a common setup, right? So what you can do is you can man this guy on Y, man this guy on A. Now, if they do have this option streak, sometimes the guy will run the post and he'll beat you over he'll beat the guy in man. But if you're worried about that, you can always put a mid read, or just only man one of them and leave the ISO one for yourself. So just do something like this. But I am a big fan of manning the seams. I love getting that press and taking that away. Even from a cover 3 cloud standpoint, if they have this type of setup, I'm not really worried about a flood concept from a deep flood concept from the guy on the left, right? So he's not you can't run a corner out with X, right? So I'll probably man this guy up on Y still. If they run 4 verticals to split my deep thirds, then the streaks are going to be taken away with the middle deep third there. Even if they run the post, you have a middle deep third. So it takes away the seams from them. And then if they run something like, yeah, like this, like a smash concept or whatever, the guy's going to be manned to the corner out, and then you also still have the deep third bracking it over the top. Again, remember, always back your guy off if you're afraid of a streak. But if they do happen to run this, you can notice it. Ooh, go out there and lurk the hitch yourself. And then the other zone covers the other hitch. So just different things you can do. I like manning people up a lot. I think manning people up this year is very, very effective. It's extremely hard to deal with guys that are getting pressed, and then also guys with high speed. So I love to do that in my base coverage. I love to start a game like that. And then once you see what routes you need to be manning up as the game goes on with whatever they're dotting you with, that's when you can start to adjust a little bit and change what you're doing with man, and maybe put some more zone out there if your guys are getting beat by man. Or if the man's doing really good, maybe man some other guys up. So that's different things you can do at $1. That's just the base coverages. Alright guys, here's the Nickel 335 block shed defense. The only requirement for this is spreading your line and crashing out. That's it. If you do that, you'll get the block shed defense. It's the only thing that matters. Outside of that, you can do whatever. You can press. You can base line press. Whatever you want to do, it'll come in the same as long as you spread your D-line and crash out. Now, something that you might want to note is if you want it to look like your blitz, you're going to have to base line, because with the blitz, you have to go to shift your linebackers to the right, and if you don't base line, they don't shift properly a lot of the time. But if you base line, they always will. So if you want it to look like the blitz, you can base a line, shift your linebackers right, and then bring this guy down, coverage and whatever. But as long as you spread your line and crash out, it'll be fine. Now that's just the disguise. I'm going to go over this setup more in the blitz setup video. I just wanted to show you guys you can set up this block shed defense to look like your blitz. But just note, all you need to do is spread your line and crash out, and you'll be able to run this defense. Now, I'll show you guys some clips here of it coming in successfully. It does come in rather quick. So as long as you make good adjustments, it's going to be solid defense for you, which is why I'm not going to do this every time. I'm not going to make it look like the blitz every single time. It's unnecessary to disguise it. It's really just a block shed defense in general. This is just a blitz to help enhance you guys on the block shed defense. But here's the clips of the block shed defense coming in. And for more on the blitz, make sure you check out that section of the video. Alright, now you guys can see on these clips, the edge rushers are going to get one-on-ones on the outside. Sometimes one of them, sometimes both, but it changes from play to play, but usually you'll get at least one guy getting a really good edge rush that's going to create clean, easy block sheds for you. Now also the DT will create power move A-gaps, splitting between the double teams a lot. That's a pretty common block shed this year as well. So you're going to get a lot of different block sheds, but you guys can see it, no need to be redundant. The block shed defense is going to come in, and then you can make great adjustments behind it. Okay guys, so here's the Nickel 335 blitz defense setup. Now I want to stress to you guys, this is not an every down blitz. I am not doing this every play. It is just something to add on to the block shed defense to give you an opportunity to scream. It's not going to scream every single time, but it's going to come in a decent amount, and if it doesn't come in, it's going to very much enhance your block sheds. It's just going to give one-on-ones, weird loops, stuff along that nature that's going to help you to get guaranteed pressure rather quickly, but it's not something you're going to want to do every single down. If you want to blitz every down, 146 is probably the defense for you out of the Jets playbook that we released between me and Throne. But this is good block shed defense. If you like to play coverage, you like to make adjustments, 335 and dollar are going to be it for you. But this setup's not hard to set up, man. It's just base line, shift your line to the right, your linebackers to the right, spread your line, crash down, and then you can press or not press, and as long as this guy comes in and moves in, you're good to go. Get that linebacker and him on the contain, and you're set up. Now you can set this up pretty quickly. It might seem like a decent amount of adjustments, but it's really not. Once you get used to it, you do set it up pretty quick. And you guys saw there, against no one blocked it, came in very, very quickly. Definitely something that you can get screams with, but it's not something I'm sending every down. I can't stress that enough, but you definitely can scream out of it. Shift your line to the right, spread your line, crash down. You guys see I set that up very quickly. It just takes practice, and you guys see it set up perfectly. But now let's get into the clips of it actually coming in successfully. You guys will see it out of in-game, actual in-game, so you guys can actually trust it. But that's it for the setup part. Alright guys, so you will see throughout these clips that this blitz is not going to super scream every single time. It's going to create great block shed angles. It'll scream sometimes. It's not going to scream every time. But really, if you want to scream every time, you want to be in 146 or dollar. Dollar's not bad. It's a better blitz than 335. But this blitz does help you to get great block shed angles and has a chance to scream. So definitely something to mix in, not something to run every down for sure. Again, if you want to blitz every single down, you want to be in 146. But this 335 is definitely solid. And I do like to mix in the sending 5 if I'm running this every once in a while, but not every single time. But it definitely works. So here's the base coverage setup at 335. Now, if you already watched the dollar one, I'm not going to lie, the defensive adjustments are going to be very, very similar, because that's what works this year, honestly. And they're similar defenses in that you're going to run a Tampa 2 with a slot corner blitzing, and you're going to be mixing in a cover 3 cloud base coverage. Now, The only difference is you're only going to have one slot corner and you're going to have an extra linebacker. That's what makes this a better run defense. That's why this defense is based around more of a balanced attack. Somebody who's going to be running the ball some and passing the ball some. Even more so from a single back standpoint, this 3-3-5 is going to be very effective. But that said, if maybe you're more comfortable in this 3-3-5, maybe you get toted on out of inside zone or base from dollar or maybe even sweep, and you want to go to 3-3-5 to help stop the run, but you want to have the same similar concepts out of it. So I'm in Tampa 2. You guys are going to see here I'm going to do a lot of the similar things. I'm going to man this guy up on the running back. I'm going to man this guy up on the outside guy. I'm going to shade inside and shade down, and then recloud over here. Similar concepts to before. Taking away that one side and worrying about the rest after, right? Like just going to user the right side yourself. Now you can base align, you can non-base align. Doesn't really matter, right? Now this guy pulled way in. I don't know what that was, but don't let that happen. If you baseline and that happens, stop baselining. But essentially the left side is taken away now. If you want to leave this deep half, you can shade down, take away any drags underneath slants, stuff like that. It's going to do a really good job with the press if you shade down. If you want to get rid of this deep half, maybe you want to cross man it. Maybe you want to just put him in a middle deep third to take away any post or seams. You're going to have to shade up over top. That's going to keep this guy from getting beat on a streak. Now, if there's a super speed difference like there is right here with Grady and Marquise Goodwin, just because Marquise Goodwin's so fast, probably have to back this guy off if you want to do this. Or, honestly, I'd probably just keep shading down and leaving the deep half. That's up to you guys, though. That's what I would personally do. From there, you guys can do different things. Maybe you want to put this guy in a middle deep third, taking away any seams. You could even put him in middle deep third and move him down, right? Or if you want to disguise your blitz, now it's not going to work because I've already messed with it probably, but it'll pull this guy down here if you guys see it from the blitz adjustment video, and you can put him in a middle deep third. Since he's so low, he's going to do a really good job with any seam streaks, but he's also going to take away some posts and do a good job in the middle of the field. And then if you're doing that, you probably don't need the mid read. Maybe you put this guy in a hook curl, something like that. That's something you guys can do, and really you're just worried about the right side of the field because you're manned up on the other sides, on the ISO side, right? That's what I'm going to be doing against most trips. Told you guys in the dollar video, any tray alignment where there's 3 wide receivers on one side, running back and receiver on the other, I'm pretty much taking away the ISO side and just worrying about the trip side. And that includes stuff like bunch, right? So now, another thing, as always, you can always mix in this cover 3 cloud. It's very effective. I'll usually shade down and shade up to get double clouds out there, or maybe move this guy out there. But I definitely want a cloud on the one side. And then, again, if you're in cover 3 and you're worried about getting beat deep, back this guy off. It's a lot of the same concept, guys. I know it probably sounds redundant if you watch both. Put this guy in a mid-read. But the concepts are very similar in that you have a slot corner that you like to do things with, and you're adjusting out of Tampa 2 and cover 3 cloud. So I'll go into doubles here like I did before with the dollar. But I'll show you guys that I really like to take away seams this year. I love to man people up. I think it's super effective, and it's a very common thing that you can do. I did dollar out of doubles. I'll probably go into spread for this just to show you guys the same concepts work. Come on in 4 verticals. Same thing. I love to man up these seams. Bam, bam. Take those away. Maybe if you want to even get a press out of it, you can move your linebacker down. Does lots of the same concepts as you guys can do. If they go to a smash, let me see if I have smash in here. I don't, but again, if they go to a corner out concept, those guys are going to be manned up, and you're going to trust that they're going to be able to take them away. And you can even leave the corner routes bracketed by the cloud flat. So if you leave the cloud flat out there, so this is perfect hitch corners. If you leave the cloud flat and the man up, it's going to bracket essentially these corner routes. So you man this guy up. If you want to press, you can move him down. Up to you guys. But you can leave the cloud flat. If they throw the hitch, the cloud flats are going to rally very well this year. It just does such a good job. But even if the man beats, the corner route beats the man, the cloud flat's going to do a good job bracketing it. So if you hike the ball here, you lurk the running back, whatever that running back was on, that was a really good route. But you can lurk the running back yourself, because if they throw the hitch, the clouds are going to rally down and make the tackle for just a few yard gain. But these corner routes are unthrowable. You just can't throw that. Like, it's completely bracketed. He beats the man a little bit, but then you have the cloud bracketing. And then same thing over here. So if I just did a good job lurking the running back, that play would have been boxed. But set it up again. Man this guy here. Man this guy here. Now I am going to throw the hitch this time, because I want you guys to see that they will rally. But essentially, if they do that, you're going to see they're not going to gain a ton of yards. Right there, throw it. Not much there, right? Again, of course, you can always go to cover 3 cloud. If they go to 4 verticals and they have this option post, let me cancel this here. They have this option post. It will beat man sometimes, and but if you don't want to have to worry about that, you can go to cover 3, man up these seams, and now if they got breaks in the post, you still have the deep third, so it's not going to be open. So you see here, they got a really good job pressing, and he doesn't even break on his post, and everything's completely taken away. So that's what I like to do against a doubles formation. I pretty much man the seams every time because you don't have to worry about any corner routes from the outside guys. The outside guys aren't going to be running corner routes. So you just have to worry about taking the corner routes away and the seams, and then they can't really flood concept you, and they're going to be in some trouble. And then you can just take the posts and stuff away from the middle with your vert hooks, your mid reads, and your user. So hope this was helpful for you guys. This is just the base adjustments going into a game, and then you can start adjusting from there based on whatever your opponent is doing. Alright guys, so here's the stopping the meta bunch section. Now, I'm going to be doing it out of West Coast. Anyone that's running bunch as their main offense right now is going to be in West Coast. It's the most viable bunch. It has mesh post and stick, so that's what we're going to be doing it out of. Now, I like to play my defense against bunch out of dollar. It's very similar to the 1-4-6, so it has the same alignment. You can do a lot of the same things. Now, with it, you're going to be playing a lot of coverage. I'm going to send in 3 a lot, and then I'll send a blitz at the right time where I feel it's a good time to scream at them. And you can mix it up that way, but I'm sending 3 a lot. So I'm gonna show you guys my base setup here, out of coverage, sending 3. I like to be in DB fire, so for the most of this stuff, I'm gonna be in DB fire. A good mix-in is gonna be cover 3 cloud, and I'll show that at the end of the video, but for the most part, I'm just gonna be in DB fire doing a bunch of different things. First and foremost, my base setup. Man this guy on the running back, the slot corner on the running back side to the running back. Man this guy up on the ISO receiver. I'm manning the ISO receiver a ton in this video, and then I'm going to shade, and then I'm also going to man up the slot corner on the slot receiver. To take away that Z spot route, that corner route can get bagged by man. If you man it up, it's usually going to get boxed. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade underneath and shade inside. With that, it's going to box any drag that they put out there, and I'll show you guys that in a second. And then the guy on the right, I'm either going to re-soft squat him or cloud flat. Up to you guys. I like soft squats personally, but it's really user preference. Now, this is going to be great against mesh post. Mesh post is the base play that everyone in bunch is going to use. They can even run it stock. It's very good stock. This is a common setup because the running back's going to block for that drag from Pettis, and it's going to do a good job from it. Another possible way they could run it would be to hitch Pettis and out route Bourne. But either way, for the most part, they're going to be sending this running back on the wheel from it, and it's going to do a good job with this man up from it. So let's reset here. This is the way most people are running it. So let's just show you guys how it works. Now, let's go into the replays here and we can break down this play. The greatest part about this is the shade underneath and the shade inside. Watch both drags. They get completely boxed by this man-to-man. You see right there, can't throw it. Right here, obviously can't throw it. We're obviously going to be usering the post. If you didn't want to use the post, you could probably put this guy in a mid-read. Up to you guys. But I'm just using the post in this play. One other thing that does kind of get open is right here, this wheel route. Tavierre Thomas, though he does have great speed, can get beat in man coverage because he is like a 50 overall, and Tevin Coleman's not a slouch. He's like 94 speed, so he does get beat a little bit here. That's not consistent. He'll probably box it about 50% of the time. Now keep in mind, the reason why we use Tavierre Thomas is he's 93 speed, and he'll do a good job if they flip their bunch and he's going to be in the slot. But he is going to get beat a little bit by running back wheel routes, but to be honest, this is a tough read. If you see it man, you're usually going to look away from it. And the 93 speed, the longer they wait, will catch back up to it a lot of the time, considering they don't have a 94 speed running back on every team. But you guys see, does a good job. Now, the flip side of this is, what's so great about manning up the running back is if he blocks him, Tavierre Thomas is usually going to do a good job on this guy on the ISO side. So I'm putting this guy in a hard flat just to show you guys what it will look like. So I'm going to audible here to deep attack. Now, a common setup for that would be something like this with a motion slant, something like that, or maybe a drag, something like this, right? Doesn't really matter. But you guys are going to see Tavierre Thomas is going to do a good job here, and he's actually going to man up, I believe, to X on his post route. That's usually what he does. Every once in a while, the guy will man up to a guy that you don't expect if the running back gets blocked. But for the most part, you can imagine him doing that. I'm also going to man this guy up on RB again, just like before. But for the most part, the guy does what you want him to do. He'll go match this guy on the ISO side. Now you guys will see here on deep attack that he'll do that. And bam, he completely boxes it. Right now I would have used that slant, but I was just kind of watching that for you guys. That can be a very good thing. So if they send their running back out, he's manned up. He's boxed. He's not going to get open. They run corner strike, put him on a swing route, whatever. He's boxed. But then if they block him, he's going to do a great job on this ISO receiver. You guys see he takes away this post completely. Like completely bags it. Now if they have someone super good here, like super fast, like Tyreek Hill or maybe even Marquise Goodwin, he might not bag it, depending on how good of a corner he is. It doesn't matter. It depends on if you're playing MUT, salary cap, whatever. But if he's about close to him or even to him, he's going to box it. So that's what's great. That's what's great about that setup, and that's why I love manning these guys. So if you want a base setup, it's either going to be this or this if you're expecting match post. Either or, up to you guys. You can shade underneath, recloud this guy, resoft squat, whatever. Now, different things you can do out of this. Obviously, you can be blitzing. Now, it's not going to work, the sugar blitz, because I've already been doing adjustments, but if you blitz them at the beginning of the play and then press and bring them down, it'll come down for you, and then you can blitz them. You can mix this in with this exact setup. This is what I would do. I would man up the outside guy. If I wanted to shade down, like if I was worried about a drag from him and I wanted to give him a good press, I would shade down and leave this deep half. If I wasn't worried about a drag and I just wanted to take away like a streak or a deep post, like from wide receiver post, I would shade over top and then probably man this guy to the running back. And that way, if the running back goes out, he's manned to him and I don't have to worry about the left side at all. I can just focus on using the right side. And if he doesn't go out, the safety will usually go to like a middle deep third or match to the safety. Match to the tight end. So either way, it's a good adjustment. So you can shade over top. If you're going to do this, shade over top. If you wanted to leave the deep half, you can shade underneath and recloud the right. But either way, this is a great way to mix in the blitz, take away that left side completely and just worry about the right. And then obviously another really good mix in for you would be cover 3 cloud right here, right? So that way, if they run verticals, a vertical is another common setup. The wheel is going to get boxed by the cloud on the outside, and then by the time it gets past the cloud, it's going to get taken away by this deep third. So I just run it stock, to be honest. If you want to shade down, shade up to get 2 clouds out there, or maybe put a hard flat, you can do that. Now, if you have a deep third out here, you're going to want to back it off. Since it's pressed, it will probably get burnt deep, especially if you don't have great speed over there, and they do. So the way you can do that is just literally pressing Y or triangle, A or X, and then picking the receiver on the left, and then backing him off. Now, it's probably not going to do it because the practice mode's weird and I've already been doing a bunch of adjustments, but usually they'll just back up right here. Or, of course, you can just click on them the way I just did and do that. But I've actually just gotten used to doing it that way because that's what I do out of 146 as well. But other than that, just running it stock is very, very good mix-up because they can't tell if it's DB Fire or this because it still shows that 2 safety front from right here. And mixing that in is also good. So just going back here to the initial setups, just resetting both of our plays. You're going to see all the other base plays are going to get done a great job from this setup. So they're in stick, right? Streak this guy. Even if they post them, you can usually use her from this setup. So you man up here, put this guy back, man him up here, shade down, shade underneath, whatever the case may be. Put the cloud black or the soft squat, and everything's going to be taken away from this stick setup as well. So they run stick. Everything's boxed. The only thing that they can throw is the flat underneath. And once again, as I told you guys, if they block the running back, this guy will go to the outside guy. You see here, he does a really good job helping in case this guy on the left gets beat off his press, which he doesn't really. But you guys can see he's basically double man. Now, if you have any type of user, you know you can user this and just take away this flat and not give up any yards on it. But if they throw it, you guys are going to see they don't get many yards. So I'm going to run that again. And the flat, the guy just reacts too quick. With this last patch, it's very, very easy for clouds just to play it. I'll probably never put a hard flat over there unless I'm in a cover 3 and I know I want to do it. But to be honest, even then I usually will play clouds just because they react so fast. So right here, we're doing the same exact thing. I'm going to throw to this flat. And you're going to see Denzel Ward basically rallies right to it. He gains 1 or 2 yards. Now maybe if I'm not using 2 controllers, the guy can get a couple more. but not much is going on over there. This setup's going to be very, very good for you. Another setup for you guys, Z-spot, right? Maybe they're going to do this. Same exact thing. It's going to do a very good job against it. Move this guy in, and man up, and you're going to shade underneath, recloud, put this guy on RB. You're going to see it's going to do a very good job against this. I don't know why, but that Z-spot corner route will get bagged no matter what, pretty much by man-to-man, and then you have the cloud underneath it, basically creating a bracket around him, not allowing him to throw it. Going to verticals here, verticals will get open, the wheel route will get open, but that's when you just have to have your user engaged and be able to go over there and make a play for yourself, or that's when you auto to cover 3 cloud. If you're expecting verticals, you can put cover 3 cloud in, and then that's going to bag it. Now, if they don't have a route ability, they're going to get bagged on this by this man-to-man's going to bag it. But if they do have a route ability post, that can get open. If you want to put this right here, you can. And that's when, I'm not going to man this guy up every time. I told you guys sometimes I want to leave him in the flat. Maybe you cloud him here, and if they block their running back, you let Tavier Thomas do a good job on that ISO receiver instead. So, quickly here, just go to verticals. I'll just put him on a drag or something. They would probably either drag him or streak him, but I'll just do this here. And they don't have to motion him out, but they can. And I'll just show you guys the setup here. If I notice it's verticals and I know I don't have cover 3 out there, I'm probably using that tight end and then moving over to the wheel on the outside, kind of just pretending, trying to bait whichever one that they're throwing. So I'll just go to the replay here, kind of what I was doing. So you'll see here, this guy, if they don't have the route ability post, going to get boxed. Tavier Thomas does a good job. He blocked the running back, so he goes and takes away this ISO drag. They can maybe fit that in for a couple yards, but not the biggest deal. And I'm just kind of splitting this tight end. So I go to the tight end here, lurker for a second. Now I'm just kind of sitting in between, pretending which one am I going to, not letting them throw either of them. And then if they eventually throw this outside one, I'm just sprinting towards it. So that's going to be verticals. Again, if they're in cover 3 cloud, I'll show you guys quickly here that it won't get open. So just quickly run stock verticals, whatever. You can go lurk the tight end, but you see by the time he gets past the cloud, the deep third's taking it away. And I didn't do any adjustments there, so you can still man up that post. And again, if you wanted to take away the middle post without having a user, and you could always put this mid read. But there's a lot of different things you can do against bunch, but this defense is going to do a good job against it. I hope these gave you some ideas. That's really all I have for it. Lastly, just something you can also do is sometimes if you man this guy up on the running back, you can have something similar to Thomas in that if you like say they're running mesh post and they block the running back, sometimes he will go to the post. Not all the time, it's not as consistent, but just something you can note. Right here you see he goes to the tight end. I don't like it quite as much as I do the ISO side being manned to the running back, but just something you can play around with. I'll let you guys go into practice mode and play around with that and find some stuff for yourself on it. But that's pretty much the defense. I'm sticking in DB fire. I'm sending 3 a lot, maybe mixing in that sugar blitz, the 6-man sometimes with taking away that ISO side like I talked about. Mix it in the cover 3 cloud with minimal adjustments just because it's a really good stock defense. But this is going to help you guys lock up a lot of bunches, so I hope this was helpful. Alright guys, so here's the stopping the meta section on Heavy Panther. It's becoming a very popular offense. It's very annoying. They can do a lot of different things from it. They can audible down to goal line. They can audible down to single back jumbo. They can do a lot of different things, but this defense has done a good job against it. I've played against Heavy Panther multiple times. I played it at the Madden Classic, and I also played it online against Timor, who was one of the best players running it down at the Classic. And I did a good job against it both times. Timor passed a little bit after I started locking up his run, and so did the guy that I played at the Classic. Multiple people were running it, and this is very effective against it. Now, I talked about the run defense spy concept. That's what you're going to be using for this a lot. So baseline press is my normal setup. I move this guy out, spy, just move him out a little bit. If you have time, I can't stress that enough, you can move this guy out some. Now, you might not have time, but sometimes they do utilize motion, especially with this tight end right here. They'll motion him to the left. I've seen that a ton, Boyle, and it'll do a good job for them blocking wise. But if you see them do that, you can definitely move this guy out. And then I'll usually use this guy And you guys are going to see here when they run the QB blast. The QB blast is a common run. It's going to do a good job just blowing this thing up. Now you see there, they did end up gaining like 4 or 5 yards. But that's just because of the fall forward animation from Lamar here. You're going to see pretty much every gap is filled, right? I'm not really using either. I'm just kind of letting the computer play. But if they cut outside, which is something they like to do a lot, this corner right here completely just locks it up. He's unblocked, and he'll just tackle him on the outside. Now, instead he cuts up, this safety comes in unblocked to fill that gap. That's what the spy is going to do. It's going to do a great job. Now, he hits him right away, right about a 1 yard gain. Depending on the animation, this is probably a 1 yard gain. He ends up falling forward for 5. But I'll just run this multiple times, and you guys are going to see that it's going to stop it. Now, I will talk about the passes because obviously you do have to worry about the passes at some point because they do start mixing them in. But at first, I just want to show you guys that it's going to do a good job stopping the run. I usually try to stand right here just in case they can. I can try to shoot a gap, but you guys see right there perfectly. That's the animation you're going to want from the safety. That's a 1 yard, 2 yard gain. What you want to do with this offense is you just want to keep making them force them on 3rd and 4th downs and keep making them sweat. And eventually you'll probably get a stop. And that's how I've usually been getting my stops, is keep making them sweat, keep making them sweat. And you just have too many guys coming in to get blocked, guys. You're not, if you put the spies out there, they're not going to get blocked. They just aren't. This is going to lock it up. You guys are seeing here, every time they run it, there's somebody that's unblocked, and they just make a tackle. And it's because these safeties coming in, they take up blockers and force people to get block shedded. Like they're not supposed to be there, so it messes up the blocking, and it allows players to come in free and make easy tackles, or they come in free themselves. So show it one more time here, but I'm going to do the motion, probably the most common motion that I see, and you guys are going to see it's still going to do a really good job against it. So they probably will motion over here to the left. Still going to stay in the same spot, and they'll do this, and you guys see still not much to go. I mean, he ran around there and then ended up getting 5, but I mean, we had so many guys free. I'll do it again here. I'll just do a couple. I'll just do like several different motions, just because they do a lot of different things. So motion this guy, and sometimes they'll motion this guy outside to try to block that outside corner. That doesn't matter though, because the safety is just going to make the play before that corner gets there. But quickly here, do it one more time. Nowhere for him to go. They go to that outside corner. You're not going to force a fumble against a user though, because they're going to be holding RB. Obviously the computer can't do that. But just so you guys know, it's just so good. It's so effective. So they motion this guy. This is another common one that they do, kind of putting them in like that little wing spot right there. But again, too many guys to get blocked. Nowhere for them to go. It's just not going to do it. This defense is going to lock up Heavy Panther. It's how we even discovered the spies, that like the spy concept is trying to stop this form, so we know it stops it. Now, if they start passing, if they're staying in this formation, they're really only going to run one pass that I know of. It's tight end spot. Now, the corner route on the left from Andrews is good, so you just note that the corner route from the non-running back side is good. You know that's the one that you have to lurk. The non-running back side, and the running back side one is not that good. So you guys see here, just say this guy gets on a streak or something, right? Let's go back to the setup. And you can shade up in case you're worried about streaks. Move this guy over on his spy like you were doing. Move this guy over on his spy. You know that this linebacker is always going to be manned to this corner route. That's the good one. So you don't have to worry about it being man, because you know that it's not going to get open. Now, I did mention you can use her a backside safety if you wanted. If you are, just know you need to lurk on the corner route that is on the non-running back side. Let's just lurk here first. And something I'll usually do is shade out just in case. But you guys are going to see here, this linebacker is going to do a decent job against that tight end. It's actually funny, I got to stop this way in the classic. Someone threw that corner out at this linebacker, and I was able to swat it down. It was on a 4th down. I got off the field. So right here, you guys see, I'm lurking out here. The linebacker completely boxed the tight end. Now, Doyle or whatever that's there isn't the best tight end. They might have a better tight end there, but for the most part, you guys see, like, this guy's going to do a good job. Like, that's not open. You can't throw that. Even if you throw on the break, you can usually click on right here and swat that down. So nothing's really open. But if you expect him to pass, like if it's a passing down, maybe you don't put spies out there. Like, so something I'll do, if I know they're going to pass, right, and I know that they're going to be doing corner routes, put this guy in a purple. Put this guy in a purple. Move him out. And then, if they run this play, so I'm going to let this guy run the corner route himself. You guys are going to see this is probably going to beat him. I forgot to audible to it. That's my fault. But the defense still isn't bad without the spies. Obviously, it's not quite as good because the safeties don't come down the same way that like if they're in spies. But like they play okay. Like if this guy just makes the tackle right here and doesn't whiff, it's still like a no gain. So it's not like the worst run defense if you wanted to prepare for the pass and put purples out there. But I wanted to show you guys against the pass here. So let's move this guy back, put him in purples, and they go to tight end spot. Now, even if they put drags out there, like B from drag, you don't really have to worry about it because the spies are going to take away the middle of the field when they are doing spies. But to show that they're doing this here, you can lurk back on this. The purple's there to take away the corner route, and you were able to lurk the drag. Again, not much really there, as you see here. Like, I can lurk down because this purple's going to take away that corner route. You can't throw that. But I'll put the spies one more time and show you guys it with the drag just to show that the spies are going to take it away. So I'll baseline press again. And let's just go to tight end spot one more time. Put B on a drag. I know I have to lurk this corner out myself. But the spies do a good job. And you can't really throw the drag over the middle of the field. So let me go back to it on the replay and show you guys that the spies take away anything over the middle that's short, drags, in, slants, and then when they get to the sideline, there's other things there taking it up. So this guy is manned to this tight end, so he's obviously going to lose on the drag, right? He's not going to be able to get him. But this spy's here, and if you threw it, like you might catch it, but it's going to be a couple yard gain, and now you have this flat over here, and you can't really throw it. There's no spacing. You're obviously lurking the corner out. So it's going to do a good job against that. Now, obviously, they can audible down to goal line. If they audible to goal line, I'm 1,000% still doing the spy thing. I don't care if they pass out a goal line ever. They can also go to jumbo, right? So if I expect them to run out of jumbo, sometimes they'll go to dive. This is still going to do a really good job against dive. Now, the only thing you have to worry about is they can actually pass a little bit out of jumbo, a little bit more than heavy panther, in my opinion. But like it's still going to do a really good job. You see the safety shoots right down and blows up the dive. Perfect run defense. But if they do pass out of it, if I am scared of the pass, I'll do the same thing that I did with the purples. Excuse me. So like, just if I'm worried about corner routes, like maybe they can run tight end shake. This corner route's decent. Purple will take that away. Tight end corner ones are probably gonna get over it, but with the man-to-man bracketing it, it's going to do a good job of it. So maybe they'll do this. Yeah, double flat, double corner. And you know you're lurking this corner out. And they're going to get over the purples. But since they're bracketed by man, it does a decent job. And they can kind of sit in between them. I don't know if that really makes sense to you. But like it helps them play the flat. Like say they don't have two corner routes and a flat out there, but they put like a drag or something, these purples or like a slant are going to do a good job over there, and they can kind of sit in between and help bracket a little bit. So if they do throw it like right here, like right on the break, this purple can rally back and help make the tackle with this guy. Just putting him in between, but you do want to have the purple at least on the on one of the sides, because if they run tight end shake, so I'll audible one more time. Tight end shake, this is a good corner route, and it is going to be played by the purple, and it is going to beat man. So now it is baseline press, so it might not beat it because he's going to be man from the outside. But if he happens to, this purple is going to do a good job against it. So I'm going to hike it here, and you're going to see that purple plays it perfectly, and he helps bracket it for you, just in case he beats the man. Now that tight end's not that good, and Denzel Ward's great, so it's not going to get open against him. But assuming maybe they get a wide receiver there somehow, or they get a faster tight end, you might want that purple there. But for the most part against this guys, if they're in heavy panther or they're in jumbo, like they want to run the ball. Like they don't want to pass. So I'm putting spies 99, like not 99, but probably like 80% of the time. And then on passing downs, and or if I just have a gut feeling that they're going to pass, maybe they did a different motion that they haven't done all game. That might throw it off. I'm like, okay, they haven't done that motion at all, and I don't really see how that helps their run. Maybe they're passing. Maybe I'll put purples out there then. Maybe I'll put a yellow out there. Maybe I'll put them in a hook curl, right? Take away the middle. Take away a post, right? Something like that. Like maybe they have a hot route specialist post on their tight end. The hook curls will do a good job taking it away while the man catches up to it. Just different things you guys can do out of it. But I'm usually doing the spies, and it's going to do a great job against it. These guys want to run the ball, and when you take that away from them, they're going to struggle. So that's the defense for Heavy Panther.
So one of the most common rushing formations in the entire odd versus any I form, any strong, whether it be I form close, which is very meta as well. This strategy will work against pretty much all running formations. However, today we're going to be covering I form H tight because there are a few really cute things that people do online, and there have been some strategies to combat it that are becoming meta now. So we're calling 3-4 odd, Storm Brave 1, flipping it and running our normal setup by dragging out the outside linebacker, crashing up, and then bringing Harrison Smith into the box. Now what people are going to do out of this formation is they're going to flip the play, not motion, and notice as they motion over, what we're going to do to combat them being able to snap the ball on the motion is we reset our play by clicking X and then left trigger, or if you're on PlayStation, that's square and then L2. And notice, then they have to run stretch or dive without being able to do that really cute motion block, and we're going to be able to blow it up with our normal setup. Now, what this looks like is they will just flip their play, and especially if they run a play like short slants, I'm just showing right here that it blows it up both ways. This is just the stock setup that we've gone over. It's going to blow up I-form. I normally don't run zone either against I-form, at least this I-form. I will just dare you to pass. If you want to try to beat me in coverage, you get a cute play, cool. But this is what they'll do. They'll call like this short slants play, and then they'll flip their play and snap it on the motion, and they'll get the man coverage on the right to glitch out. The way we combat that, again, is when you see them flip the play, we're going to reset our play. That's X then left trigger, or square and then left or L2. I don't know who came up with this. I wish I could give proper credit. I did not come up with this. This is kind of a new meta in the community that people are doing to combat this. It's public knowledge now. I know people were doing it at the Madden Classic. There are a few people in particular. But I know it's public knowledge now. Notice we're just blowing up all these runs. But it's a really cute thing people will do to get that slant to run to the outside and glitch out the man coverage. All you have to do is reset your play. Now, I have shown it against the dive, the stretch, what I'm doing. You can put the deep thirds out on the field if you want. That is one thing I will do if I think someone, maybe an I-form close, they have route, chems, and I think they might have a cute cover 3 beater, whatever it may be, if they're an I-form slot. There, Anthony Barr doesn't come in. We're still able to get a stop for about a yard or less. But it's really just the same setup. You can switch between crashing up or down at the D-line. Just use your Harrison Smith in this position between the middle linebackers and move that left of screen outside linebacker out. That stops the stretch to that side or stops dive. Here I'm going to show if I put Harris in a spy. That's one thing we've covered. Click on and put him in a spy. Drag him outside on the way that you think you're going to struggle to stop stretch. That will really help you defend stretch. Watch this. It's going to defend stretch even better. Not necessarily Anthony Barr, but the Sheds and Harris are going to play, and as Anthony Barr comes free, so does Harris. They both come free. That's one thing that I really like to do against stretches this year, even dives. If I don't think you're passing, you can spy your safeties, bring them in the box, and watch them go to work. You can drag outside linebackers out. That helps to both sides. Just showing you, it's a nice quick setup. And then if they want to do the short slants and do the cute flip the play and throw the outward slant, or if they want to use it as a motion block, just, guys, reset that play. Don't get beaten on that glitch. Reset the defensive play, X then left trigger, or square then L2. Do not let them glitch you to death out of that. But yeah, this should bag pretty much all I-form runs. Again, if you're getting bagged, or if you're getting gashed against certain things, mix up the way you're crashing, mix up your user, mix up putting a spy and dragging a safety to that direction. Like right here, a nice run. Did we do anything differently? No, we didn't. We didn't do anything differently. That's the stock setup that's been blowing it up. Sometimes in Madden, it happens. The run game's fluky. Unfortunately, that one gashed us. I know that this run D is going to do a really good job. I'm not going to make drastic changes. If it burns me again, then, we can really try to change things up. Notice right there, we get a man free for a 4 or 5 yard loss. Exact same setup. It's unfortunately the way Madden 20 is this year. You're not going to find extremely consistent run defense. And if you did, you would have won a belt at the Madden Classic. But anyway, yeah. 3-4 odd, Storm Brave 1, very good. You can still do the audible to cover 3 thing that we were doing in both of our setups, particularly against single back wing flex close. I don't recommend it. Man coverage is better against the run this year. And here we go. We're going to get a nice 7-8 yard stop there, even though we didn't get a block shed. They got a couple lucky pickups on Anthony Barr and our user. But Hopefully this is able to help. If you have any questions about Run D, make sure you ask in the Facebook group if you're curious who gets enforcers, or what are some extra adjustments that I like to make if I am getting gashed and I'm struggling for a game. What do I like to do? But I would say most of the time I'm not really struggling out of this 3-4 odds Storm Brave one, and I don't think you guys will either. So one of the most common formations you'll be facing online is single back wing flex close. It's very, very good. It has a halfback dive, it has a halfback stretch, and then it also has very serviceable pass plays in 4 verticals and smash. This corner out on smash is very, very good. So your opponent can actually throw the ball pretty decently out of it, and it's one of the most effective running schemes in the game. You're going to see a lot of people running this online. So today I'm going to teach you guys exactly how I defend it. So first off, we're coming back to 3-4 odd. We want our fastest linebacker at this middle right of screen linebacker spot. And I actually do want my second best linebacker at the left of screen outside linebacker spot. And then I want my free safety to be someone with enforcer or a good hitter. That's who I'll be using. We're going to run Storm Brave 1 flipped just as we always do. Now, as for the setup, it's really going to be the same as our stock 3-4 run D. You can, have the option of crashing the D-line down or up, and then I drag my left of screen outside linebacker out wide, and I'm going to use her with Smith right here. Now, if I think that they're running, particularly first or second down or third and short, I'm going to be in man coverage. If they aren't, if there's a chance they pass, the left of screen corner has to be in a deep third. The way you do that is by clicking Y twice, X, and then up on the left stick. Now, I'm just showing you guys that we're going to be able to blow up the runs here. You can do whatever you want with your corners. You just need to keep in mind that the 4 verticals out of this formation is a man beater on the left side. If you're viewing this meta section, I don't expect you to need to have your hand walked through in this area of showing you exactly how to do things. But what I know is if I come out against this, and I think there's a chance they pass, I cannot just run cover 0 and expect my man coverage to play 4 verticals. I need to have zones on the left side, particularly a deep third, and then I need to use her the deep middle. If I see 4 verts, I got to cover Julio the whole way up the middle. I've just got to cut my losses on them checking down to any other area. Again, it's the same setup, though, as the stock 3-4 run D. And even if they flip it and run stretch the other way, you can still keep the normal way that we're setting this up. You don't have to flip your defense. You're still going to get really good sheds on that left side, and Anthony Barr is going to come flying through if it is a dive. This is a very good run D. Again, run D is kind of fluky this year. Running the ball is kind of fluky. Sometimes it's not going to always come in, but you do have the option of crashing down, crashing up, however it works against your opponent. And then you need to put a little bit of pressure on your user to make a play out of this too. You have an enforcer user if you're using the Vikings, or if you have Pat Tillman and salary cap or Mutt, I recommend having an enforcer free safety and getting there, clicking off, and the computer will make a hit for you. They're going to be scared of running the ball, whether they're on balance, conservative, aggressive, have armbar, or whatever it may be. They're going to be scared. Now, if it's a passing down, we do want to audible to cover 3, in my opinion, rather than putting our manual zones out there. If we still think there's a chance they can run, we can set it up the same way that we would with if it was man coverage. Drag that left of screen outside linebacker out. I'm going to crash down. I'm going to blitz Barr, and as you notice, Barr's not going to come in clean like he did cover 0. However, we still get pretty decent run D with a cover 3 shell out there, and the reason why we're in this Storm Brave 1 is for that alignment with Barr. Now, we're doing the same thing again, blitzing Barr, dragging out, crashing down. We have cover 3, shade underneath, shade over top to get the clouds. I drag Gideon out too, and I'm going to use her Smith. Pressure on me to cover Julio on a 4 vert right up the middle. That's a run. I need to get out wide. I don't really like that right there. I've got to have a better user. It is a broken tackle that gets the yards. However, we did get a body on the ball carrier, and in Madden 20, at times that's the best you can ask for. We were able to get someone free at the ball carrier at the line of scrimmage. We just need to make that tackle. Now, if I had a better user, I would have been able to get my user on it. So same thing here, and this will cover smash. It'll cover 4 verticals to about the best that you can, and limit rushing options. We don't get through. We are able to get there with Harrison Smith, another hit stick. No fumbles yet, though, in this practice mode. You will get them. I promise you will get them if you're getting an enforcer on the ball carrier. But again, we're playing zone now. We're trying to defend the pass, particularly 3rd and long or 3rd and medium. maybe second and really long. If there's a chance they pass, we need to be in this cover 3 shell, audibling from Stormbrave 1 to cover 3. Again, using Harrison Smith in the middle. I've shown it blows up dive both ways. It blows up stretch both ways. It blows up, flipping the formation. Certain motion blocks will give you trouble, but that's why we mess with, putting our safeties in spies. We mess with moving our alignment around, moving our outside linebackers out, flipping between crashing up and down, putting stress on the user to be able to go make a play with an enforcer. Anthony Barr doesn't get through again. We got to make a tackle here. We're able to get it. We got 2 bodies on the ball carrier there. And that's about the best you can do against this offense. Again, this offense, I think 4 guys were running it. There's Anthony Barr blowing it up. I think 4 of the top 6 guys at the Madden Classic were running this offense. No, not 4. It'd be 3 of the top 6 were running this offense. So very good offense here, this single back wing flex close that has been made popular and people are running all over. And yeah, this is really what it is. Just shows it does blow it up. Anthony Barr going to get a loss of 5 there if he was able to make that tackle on Devontae Freeman. But again, coming out in Stormbrave 1 every time. You can crash up or down, drag the left of screen outside linebacker out. If you're playing cover 0, you got to watch for 4 verts by putting a third, a quarter, something on that wide receiver side, and then using the deep middle because you don't want to get burned by that Julio spot. If you think they're going to, if it's a passing down, you can just audible to cover 3. Blitz Anthony Barr, crash down, drag the outside linebacker out, and you're good. Right there, that's a zone right there. That was the zone look, not the cover 1 look, and we're blowing it up right up the middle. We talked about putting safeties in spies. If you're getting gashed in the run, try stuff that is different. I can't stress it enough. Do not sit in the same formation that they're gashing. Don't sit in it. This is giving you a base formation that should do a great job against most meta runs. If somebody has a good motion or a good power block, or they're recognizing, maybe they have a run that gashes this. I haven't seen every run in the game. Make sure that we're getting out of it or trying different stuff. Do not be the person who gets burned. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. And in this situation, if they gash me once, I'm not going to run that defense again unless I think it was really fluky, a fluky stiff arm, fluky something. So anyways, this is how I defend single back wing flex close. If you get in cover 3, you really won't have to worry about smash way too much or 4 verticals, but it's where the run may kill you. This is going to do a serviceable job of getting into that cover 3, though. This run D will do a serviceable job. If you're in cover 0, they really shouldn't be running the ball on you out of this.